Lori, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of Plugged In. Plugged In is a talk show that's all about your health, and specifically the health of your kidneys. This includes how to keep your kidneys healthy, learning more about kidney disease, often dubbed as the silent killer, and the importance of organ donation and transplantation, and so much more. So why should you care? Because kidney disease is a serious condition with no cure. 1 in 10 Canadians has kidney disease, but most don't even know it. So while we aim to load you up with lots of information that's very important, we also like to have a little fun here on Plugged In. So joining me to make sure that we stay true to that are my 2 amazing co-hosts, Amro
Welcome
and
back.
Daniel.
Hello. Hey, speaking of fun, did you guys hear about this thing called daybreaker parties?
Yeah.
Where you wake up with the crack of dawn and go dancing? That seems like a really fun way to annoy your neighbors.
Totally.
That sounds really fun. I've heard that it's so hot right now in LA, New York, London, all over the world.
Awesome. So we should just have our own kidney-friendly daybreak party right here in Vancouver.
Yes.
What do you think, guys?
I agree.
Are you in? Let's do it.
Let's do that now.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, on a more serious note, I saw this PSA the other day that I want to share with you guys. Check it out. It's pretty funny, hey?
He's got no hair.
Yeah, here he is. So I thought it was funny, but it's also got a very important message. We've got a kidney transplant recipient right here on this. So in the early stages of kidney disease, there are often no warning signs, and up to 80% of kidney function could be lost before it's even detected that someone has kidney disease. So it's pretty crazy, right?
Really great information. Thank you, Lori. And let's learn more on today's Did You Know segment, where we're talking about an important test that helps people know if they have reduced kidney function.
Just request the test,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And in the news, we have a segment showing mayors and council members from across BC how they're doing their part for organ donation. And of course, you won't want to miss the next piece in our Living Donor series, The Firefighter Story, where we meet with the fire chief just days after his transplant surgery. All this and more coming up.
I also can't wait for you to meet today's guest on Kidney Kids. We have a special young champ who's going to be sharing his experience of how his life has changed after his kidney transplant.
And in our organ donation segment, we've got an inspiring young lady in the studio. She's had a very busy year. She donated a kidney, she rode a bike across the country to promote organ donation, and she also raised some serious funds for the cause. So don't go away. We've got a really great show coming up for you here on
Plugged In.
We met with Dr. Copeland recently to talk about kidney disease, and in particular, dialysis, including the different types of dialysis and what this can mean for kidney patients.
So kidney disease has no cure, but dialysis is a treatment that helps do some of the things that healthy kidneys do. Can you tell us a little bit more about what dialysis does?
So you're absolutely right. Kidney disease doesn't necessarily have a cure, but there are lots of things that we can do to treat kidney disease. For people whose kidney function has declined to the point where it's not enough to keep them well, that's where we start to think about using treatments like dialysis. So dialysis isn't a therapy to fix the kidney. Dialysis is a therapy, actually what we term it now is kidney replacement therapy. So it's there to actually replace the work that the kidney's not able to do anymore. So that involves removing fluids, balancing the salts and the electrolytes, removing poisons from the body, and doing the things that the kidney is actually doing quietly in the background. As a sort of a general principle, when people are down into the 6, 7, 8% range of kidney function is when we would usually start dialysis, even if they weren't having any of those symptoms. So we would usually start to consider using dialysis at that point. So it's actually quite remarkable how low people can actually get with their kidney function before
they
we
actually
need to start using.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I understand that there are different types of dialysis, I guess primarily 2 main types. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on those 2 types of dialysis? And I guess secondly, how do we determine what type of dialysis a patient would need?
Okay. Yep. So you're right. There's 2 main groups or 2 main camps. One is what we call peritoneal dialysis,
right,
and one is what we call hemodialysis. So peritoneal dialysis is one where we would put a tube into the tummy just below the belly button, and then we would put fluid into the space in the abdomen, and it would sit there and it would slosh around and it would actually remove the toxins and remove water and do the therapy that we're looking at there. The other one is called hemodialysis, and hemodialysis is where we would typically create a shunt in the arm, where we would take an artery and a vein and put them together, and then we'd put needles in, and we'd run that, we'd take the blood out and we'd run it through a machine, and we'd clean it through an artificial kidney. And I think when most people think about hemodialysis, if they think about hemodialysis, or think about dialysis, they think about hemodialysis.
Right.
But actually in British Columbia, about a third of the people are doing peritoneal dialysis. And there's benefits and there's problems with both of them.
Right.
And so the choice of which type of a therapy you go on is largely going to be a patient-driven decision.
And I understand you're a bit of a leader in the home hemodialysis field.
That's how I spend some of my day, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what's involved in home hemodialysis?
Yeah, and it's a really good point, because actually when I'm sitting in an office with my patient, I actually don't start by saying there's peritoneal dialysis and there's hemodialysis. I actually start by saying, where do you want to do your dialysis? And I start talking to them about doing it at home, doing it in a hospital, doing it in a clinic. We do have another option in British Columbia where we can do home hemodialysis, where we actually take somebody, we teach them how to put in those needles.
Right.
Hard to believe, but people actually are really good at putting in their own needles.
Right.
And how to operate the machine. And so they actually learn how to set up the machine, how to respond to alarms that come up on the machine, how to take themselves off, to do some basic maintenance on the machine. So people don't necessarily have to be thinking, I have to go to dialysis and I'll do it in the hospital or in a community unit or something like that. There are options to look at getting them to be able to do it at home as well.
Are there any things that they can do to, I guess, help lead a better life or live well on dialysis? I know you mentioned earlier exercise. Are there any other things you might counsel your patients on in terms of leading a good life while they are on dialysis?
Dialysis is associated with some of the dietary changes that we've talked about, and so if people are able to help control their sodium intake, their potassium intake, their fluid intake, that's all beneficial, and that's a tough job actually, just in and of itself.
I can imagine.
So if they can sort of focus on doing that, I think that's a huge help to us as the care providers, because it makes our job easier, which in turn makes their job easier. There are a lot of different medications, and pill burden and the number of medications can be a bit overwhelming for people, but it's worth talking with the care team about which ones are the most important ones, which ones to have a look at what you're taking. As long as they're able to help us by taking those pills on a regular basis, which again is a challenge, does make things better.
Well, we are out of time, and that's it today for Ask the Expert, and I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Copeland, for joining us.
No problem, my pleasure.
Did you know that GFR is the acronym for glomerular filtration rate? It is the best test for your doctor to determine your stages of kidney disease as well as your kidney functions. It can be calculated by the results of your blood creatinine tests, age, gender, and body size. It is necessary for your doctor to determine the treatments for your kidney disease, and a lower GFR equates to a lower kidney function. And now you know.
Clinicians and administrators from across BC, other parts of Canada, and the United States gathered in downtown Vancouver on October 5th and 6th to discuss the latest research trends and clinical treatments and surgical breakthroughs in kidney patient care at the annual BC Kidney Days. Hosted by the BC Renal Agency and BC Transplant, the two-day conference was sold out this year as attendees enjoyed a jam-packed agenda, including a session presented by the Kidney Foundation entitled Cross-Cultural Considerations, facilitated by the Founder's Director of Programs and Services, Heather Johnson, with the keynote speakers Mimi, Luke, and Adrian Charlie, who shared their perspectives and the challenges different cultures face with kidney disease. This next story is part 4 of our special series on living kidney donors, featuring Lieutenant Charles Mulder with Vancouver Fire and Rescue Services, who we met on the last show just days after donating one of his kidneys to his retired boss, Chief Wayne O'Dean. In today's piece, Kidney BCY TV's Deanna Rain picks up the story and visits with transplant recipient Wayne now as he is back home after his kidney transplant.
Hi.
Hi, Deanna.
Nice to see you, Wayne. You look great.
Nice to see you too.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Deanna. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Come on. Wayne, so when you greeted me at the door, I just couldn't help but notice that you're looking great, and it's been only about 2 weeks since you had the operation. So how are you feeling?
I'm glad I look great because I feel great. I think I've lost probably at least 15 pounds since before the surgery. You think I would have gained weight because apparently Charles's kidney was huge. It was 1.4 pounds, and the surgeons actually told us that they took selfies with it.
Oh, really? So your new kidney is going viral. It's an Instagram star. So take us back to the morning of your surgery. What were you thinking and what were you feeling?
This was my first surgery, let alone a major surgery, so I guess mostly I was quite nervous about what was to come and what the outcome would be, of course. Was worried about Charles. It was interesting when they wheeled me into the surgery. First thing I saw was the red cooler which said human organ for transplant sitting on the side table there, and I thought, oh wow, it's actually happening.
Helen, as you watched your husband being wheeled into surgery, what were you thinking?
I think my initial feeling was that once Charles' surgery was complete, that we were halfway there. And that I also had the feeling that the remainder of the day, the portion for Wayne's surgery, because we had already started our day so very early, that it was going, the hours were going to tick away very, very slowly when Wayne was in post-op recovery. And I was really not expecting him to be so alert when I walked in, but as I was admitted into the ward and I approached him, he was wide awake and he had an enormous smile on his face, and
great.
It was very heartwarming to see that there was so much relief there.
Describe those first few moments after the surgery. What were you thinking when you woke up?
I'm alive.
That's good. That must have been such a relief.
It was.
Did you see or talk to Charles Mulder after you received his kidney?
Well, not that day, but Charles came to see me in my room the next day.
I can imagine that the encounter might have been pretty emotional.
It was for me. Charles is more of a joking type of guy, so
Right.
some of the things we said to each other were kind of a bit dark fire hall type humor, so probably shouldn't repeat most of that. I did thank him again for his kidney, and pretty well at that point Charles started telling me, please don't call it his kidney anymore. He says, it's mine.
I understand that there's a lot of medication you have to take post-transplant. Wayne, can you walk us through a day of what your recovery looks like?
Yes, you have to take all the medications at specific times every day. So I take mine at 8 in the morning and 8 at night. And there's a few different medications in the morning than there is in the afternoon, but generally there's about 10 to 15 pills that I take each morning and each evening.
Wow.
And I'm very religious in terms of taking it right on time. I value this kidney and I'm going to do everything I can to maintain it. So I will never miss a dose. I'll always be taking those medications when required.
Was there anything that surprised you about this journey and anything new that you learned about organ donation?
Well, we've been going to the post-transplant clinic twice a week since I returned home. I'm absolutely amazed waiting in the room there, talking to people, and then realizing how many people in that room actually have had lung transplants, heart transplants, liver transplants. That's actually amazing.
The last of the Kidney Foundation's kidney walks wrapped up in Vernon and Prince George in October. Both events were a great success, with the communities coming together to support people living with kidney disease.
The Kidney Foundation's annual Kidney Walk is about to kick off. Kidney volunteers, supporters, participants have all come together to help those living with kidney disease. For a kidney patient, their best hope for the future is most often a kidney transplant. The issue is that the demand for kidney transplants far outweighs the supply. And the sad reality is, for many kidney patients, they will die before they get that much needed transplant. This is why the Kidney Walk has placed a special focus on organ donation and kidney transplantation. Each walk not only raises critical funds to help kidney patients and their families, but also helps raise the awareness about the importance of organ donation. And they seem to have a little fun doing it at the same time. This is Deborah Tucker reporting for Kidney BCY TV.
Hi, I'm Manpreet and welcome back to Meet Our Peeps. This week I'm so pleased to introduce you to 5 incredible volunteers from across British Columbia and the Yukon. These volunteers represent a cross-section of the 7,000 plus volunteers who are the heart and soul of the Kidney Foundation. It's their passion, drive, and commitment that enables us to accomplish the mission of the Kidney Foundation, which is to improve the lives of persons living with kidney disease in British Columbia and in the Yukon.
My name is Finlayson Alves. I live in Port Coquitlam right now, and my involvement with the Kidney Foundation started almost 20 years ago. When I first went on dialysis, I was looking for an area where to find out more information as to how I can look after myself.
My name is Joan O'Malley. I am from Terrace, BC, in the northern part of British Columbia. And right now we're putting together a chapter, so we've just started a Terrace chapter. I'm also coordinated the kidney walk for the last, I think we're up to 7 years now.
My name is Deb McDonald. I'm with the Victoria chapter. And well, I guess I'm the president.
My name is Terry Chance. I'm from Burnaby, Vancouver, BC.
Okay, I'm Lois Wilson. I'm from Abbotsford, and I'm the team leader of the Abbotsford chapter.
Well, it's accessible, it's friendly, it's just a good place to live.
The best thing I like about it is most of my family lives there, so that's very important to me, and I love the mountains.
It's a city, but it's also a small town. You get to know people very quickly. You get to know your way around very quickly, and it's easy to find the lay of the land after a while. And there's several niches that you can find yourself in there, and it's beautiful.
Well, the best thing in the community, I would say that because I'm one of the members of the kidney diseases in my Chinese communities, right? So most of the Chinese is understood what's the problem of kidney diseases, and they are alert about that and try to learn more about that. So there are more contribution right now. So I'm the one of the member for my association is Chinese Renal Association.
The berries, blueberries and strawberries, yeah.
I spent 7 years on dialysis, and I am now living with a transplant for almost 14 years. So it has been a very, say, positive experience for me.
I have 2 children that have been fighting with kidney disease since they were 15, so they're both in their 30s now. So they've both had transplants, lost the transplants, and are now on dialysis, hemodialysis at home, and they're waiting for another kidney.
Kidney disease doesn't affect me personally. How it affects me is in the people I come across who say, oh, I've lost somebody I know has died of this. Or I have this and I have to go to dialysis every week, 3 times a week. Or I have a kidney transplant and it's failing. Or I have a kidney transplant and have to take drugs for the rest of my life.
Actually, kidney diseases, my problem is IgA. That means that is from DNA problem, not from diabetes, not from like others. So I would say that I know the very beginning when I'm like a childhood, but I want to, I would say that let people more know about the kidneys and try to avoid any problem about it in later time.
It's directed my life to volunteering. So I've been doing a lot of volunteering because of my family members and my husband who have kidney disease, and I've donated a kidney of my own. Yeah.
Kidney disease, it is not only, it affects your entire life. It controls your entire body. So we must be able to look after that.
Just how much time it takes when people are having to deal with the disease and the many aspects of it. And just when you're not feeling well and when you are feeling well, and people don't really recognize that because you don't look any different, but you know, you're not feeling your greatest at most of the time.
Kidney disease affects more Canadians than breast cancer, and more Canadians than a lot of very popular, sexy diseases.
I would say that do more exercise, drink more water.
The one thing that I would like people to know is that when you get kidney disease, your whole life changes. That's what I wanted to say.
Tune in next time to meet more of our incredible volunteers here on Meet Our Peeps. We'll see you soon. Stay plugged in.
There are numerous sports legends that will go down in history as the greatest fighters of our time. Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, John Cena, just to name a few. Today on Kidney Kids, I have the opportunity to introduce you to another fighter whose fight may not go down in any world record book, but this young man is every inch a champion. He faced a fight for his life from the day he was born until he was 6 years old and came out a winner. First placed on dialysis when he was 5 months old, for over 6 years he courageously faced the challenges that came with being born with kidney disease, including several operations, 350 days on dialysis, 972 hours to be exact, countless trips to children's hospitals, and what must have seemed like an endless stream of needles and medications. And, to quote his mom, he did so more times than not with a smile on his face and a big hug to cheer her up when times got rough. On September 29th, 2014, at the ripe old age of 6 years old, this champion received the life-saving gift of a kidney transplant from a living donor who took part in a paired exchange transplant program. It is an honor to have this amazing young man in the Plugged In studio today on Kidney Kids, Aidan DeLorme. Welcome, Aidan.
Hello.
Thanks very much for joining us here. Can you share with our viewers how old you are and what grade you're in?
I'm 8 and I'm in grade 3.
Wow, such a busy time of your life. And of course, I hear that you have 3 brothers and a sister. Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the second oldest.
And I was wondering if you could share with me a little bit about what it's like being on dialysis.
Okay. When I was in dialysis, I have to be in dialysis 3 hours a day.
So how many times a week did you go to Children's Hospital for dialysis?
3 times a week.
It sounds like your life changed on September 29th, 2014 when you got your kidney transplant. Can you share with us a little bit about how your life changed?
Well, I got a kidney transplant. I had to stay in the hospital for a day or 2, and then I got out.
Now, Aidan, I understand that we actually have a very special viewer named Shelly watching all the way from Penticton. I was wondering if you'd like to say something to her.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Shelly.
Thanks, Shelly. Now, I'm thinking that since I have you here and your brothers are here, and I understand that you guys like soccer, I was wondering if you guys could show me some of your skills on the field.
Mm-hmm.
We have a ball and we have a couple nets. Do you think we can get your mom on the field too?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah!
You got this.
Aidan, how you feeling?
Good.
Shouldn't have ate all that pizza. Good job. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming in. Kidney Kids Plugged In. Stay tuned. We got more great action coming your way. Oh man. Okay, who's up for round 2? Round 2.
Hi there, I'm interviewing Eileen Zhang today. Eileen has just wrapped up her Gift from Within tour, and you may have heard this amazing lady started training for her bike trek just 6 weeks after her surgery in February of 2015, where she donated a kidney to her own mom. So after months of training, Eileen launched her trip from Victoria, BC on May 16th. She got a lot of media coverage for it. She had an amazing time, and she arrived at her destination and dipped her bike wheel into the Atlantic Ocean at St. John's, Newfoundland on September 2nd. So we're very pleased to have Eileen in the studio today to talk more about her story. So welcome, Eileen.
Thank you.
So glad you could be with us here today. It's very exciting.
It's my pleasure.
You had someone with you on a portion of your trip. You want to introduce your guest?
Yes, this is Nick Tam, my fiance.
Your fiance.
And he was with me for the last provinces.
Okay. What inspired you to actually do the tour in the first place? So where'd you get the idea to do it?
Well, actually, my mother was the one who taught me how to bike when I was a little girl, and this was a way for us to save money because we had just immigrated to Canada.
Okay.
And she was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease 10 years ago, so a decade ago, and I had offered her my kidney in the beginning, and she didn't accept it because there were like cultural conflicts and as well as her being concerned for my health.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, I donated my kidney to her eventually because it got to the point where her health had deteriorated so much, and she needed a kidney. If she didn't get it soon, what would happen is her body wouldn't be able to accept it because she wouldn't be able to heal. It would be too weak. So I donated my kidney to her February 25th last year, and made a quick recovery for both me and her.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your tours? What are some highlights? What are some things that were really exciting for you, or things you'd like to share?
Oh my goodness, it's incredible how nice people are when they hear your story and they hear you're going across Canada for a good cause. One day I was in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. I couldn't find a place to stay, and the weather was pretty bad that day too. And I went to the fire department and I asked, I was like, is there a place to stay? Can I just pitch my tent up on the grass area over there? They're like, no, come into our fire department. We have dorms for you.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know, and they ended up having a blast. They like brought me around to my interviews on fire trucks.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes,
Awesome.
a lot of fun.
So, Nick, can you tell me a little bit about how you and Eileen met up on the trip?
Yeah, I flew into Charlottetown from Vancouver with my bicycle, and then I unpacked at the airport, and we met up then. And then I went to, we biked across PEI to Nova Scotia around Cape Breton Island, and then went to Newfoundland by ferry and biked the rest of the way.
Oh, it sounds so beautiful.
It was very nice.
To ask again about your mom, how's she doing now? How's her health?
She is doing amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's a 180-degree turn. Just about 9 months after the surgery, I brought her up to Cyprus, and we did a 4-hour snowshoe.
I bet she's very proud of you for everything, for the donation, for your trip. And so, how was it for you?
It was great. It was lovely to see to be there at the finish line and see the end of it, and it's part of Canada we had never seen before.
So you're still out spreading the word. What's your web address?
My website is www.giftfromwithin.ca.
Excellent. So Eileen, I have a little surprise for you here. We've got Aidan. Aidan's 8 years old. He received a kidney transplant from a living donor in 2014, and he's here to present a special cape to Eileen. It's our hero capes for living donors. Would you like to come in here, Aidan? Wonderful.
Get this.
Hi, Aidan. Oh, that looks great. Wow. Do you want to show us your cape, Eileen?
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Well done, well done.
Thank you. High five.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on Kidney Contest. In the last episode, the contest question was, what's the total number of children that the Kidney Foundation has sent to kidney camp in the past 10 years? Do we have a winner, Manpreet?
We sure do, Daniel. Jackie from Port Coquitlam, BC had the right answer, with our guess that a total of 400 children have attended the kidney camp since this program started 10 years ago.
Wow, that's a lot of smiles and friendships made at kidney camp. Congratulations, Jackie. Your plugged-in prize package, including a $50 Visa gift card, is on its way. Now, are you ready for this week's kidney contest question? In one of our previous episodes, we told you about the annual Kidney Walk campaign that takes place in communities across BC and the Yukon. The question is, how many kidney walks in total took place in 2016 across BC and the Yukon?
Here's a hint. Go to kidneywalkbc.ca.
I heard that, Manpreet. Be the first to send in your correct answer and you'll win a fabulous prize pack, including a beautiful special edition Kidney Walk jacket. It has fleece lining, so it's perfect for the fall and winter weather. You'll also receive a plugged-in coffee mug and an official 2016 Kidney Walk t-shirt. How's it feeling, Manpreet?
I love this jacket. It's so comfortable and very warm.
It looks good. Me, I'm of course wearing the stylish Kidney Walk t-shirt. Comfortable and looks great, and you can too. You can have both of these items.
New ones, of course.
Of course, if you tweet us your answer using the hashtag Kidney Contest.
Or you can send us a quick email at pluggedin@kidney.bc.ca.
Good luck!
Wow, I can't believe the show's over already. I don't know about you guys, but it seemed to just fly by this time.
No kidding. I think I laughed my way through it. And a big thank you to all of our guests who joined us today and made the show informative and a lot of fun.
I've had so much fun watching the Kidney Kids section too. It's such a great job you do with them, Daniel.
They're always
They're
great.
so lovely.
Well, how about you? That's what I want to know. What was your favorite segment? Or just let us know what you thought of the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like, share, and spread the word, or email us at pluggedin@kidney.bc.ca.
And of course, don't forget to send us your answer for this episode, hashtag Kidney Contest, via Twitter or email.
And please, don't forget to take a minute and register to be an organ donor. We make it very easy for you. Just visit our website at kidney.bc.ca and you'll see a big red button. Click on it and fill out the information. It only takes a couple of minutes and you could save a life.
Absolutely. So, of course, we're going to put a shout out to our sponsor, Kidney Car. Thank you to everyone for joining us today. We'll see you next time on
Plugged In.
Steve. Oh, Steve. Oh, Steve. Oh, Steve.
Steve! Make the call.
Donate your vehicle to Kidney Car.
Marker. Okay, and action.
Went through a lot of the symptoms.
Stop.
With an official 2016 Kidney Walk, you think your mom is going to be able to join us on the soccer field to kick the ball around?
No.
We'll see you next time. Again.